Modeling in Japan. What's it all about? Quick recounting of my experiences. So 10 years ago now, 2010, soon after I'd moved to Nagasaki in Japan, a friend of mine, an English friend, actually the singer in my band, he got a gig modeling sunglasses, and we were doing some jamming together, and he said, I've got to go to this photography session. He said, do you want to come along? I'll only be an hour or something. So I said, yeah, sure. I'll check it out. It'd be good to check out anyway. So I went along. It was a proper studio. There was camera people there. There was some lighting guy and other couple people running around looking busy. He had his photo taken, and then the guy taking the photos said, "Oh, do you want to have a go to me?" And it was sunglasses. There's always different types of sunglasses. So I said, "Yeah, all right, if you like." I tried these sunglasses on. They took some photos, and next thing I knew, they were in a magazine and in the window of a local glass shop. Uh, so for payment, they basically gave my friend, they gave him Ichiman N, which, as I found out, is a flat fee, which is 10,000 yen. Sorry, 10,000 yen, which is pretty much a flat fee for any work done, in my experience. And he very kindly, he split it. He gave it 5,000 each. So that's about 10,000 yen is about $100. I'm not sure, £80 maybe, 80 English pounds. So that was my first modelling gig, which was kind of unexpected. And we got kind of regular work after that. It wasn't a bad little earner. As I say, it was 10,000 yen every time. Didn't take very long. Mainly foreigners. My friend, Aaron, the singer, the guy in the band. There's a young woman called Becky. Sorry, I say girl. I'm nearly 44 now, so I'm no spring chicken. But yeah, a young woman, yeah, and a few others. So like we did a photo shoot for izakaya, which is a kind of traditional Japanese eating place where we just all looked manic and held chopsticks of food up to our mouths and looked like it was the best thing we'd eaten in our lives and this sort of thing. Kind of assisted by the fact that they gave us beers all through the session. It was a right laugh. Um, a few other things did for Nagasaki University, where I just had to wear a suit and tie and look serious, which was kind of a change in pace because normally they want you to do the typical stereotyped, very smiley "Hey, Gaijin," which is foreigner here. Basically, you look a bit goofy, but for 10,000 yen an hour, I'll look goofy. Um, then I got one. For a magazine, for the front of a magazine, one on my own. They were releasing a magazine here about sort of the artistic community in Nagasaki, sort of painters and musicians and writers and stuff. And for some reason, it was called Flag, the magazine. And for some reason, they wanted me on it, not wearing a t-shirt, but sort of just from the chest up, painted gold. So I had to shave and that, and then I went to the studio and they sprayed me with gold paint. They took the photo, and then I thought it was just a local magazine, but then a friend of mine, he took in Shinjuku in Tokyo, a really busy part. It was in a sort of big department store on a rack, loads of these magazines, and that there was a commercial on TV. So I was like, oh, well, this is all right, but I still got paid exactly the same. And I did some translation work for the magazine, or just tidied up the English. My Japanese isn't that good, but yeah, I just tidied up the English a bit because I've written some books and stuff, so I can do a bit of that. And so in the end, I got 40,000 yen, so about $400 for the photography shoot and the editing, whatever you might call it, the actual magazine. And because it'd been on TV and stuff, then I actually started to get a bit of I started to get a bit slagged off. Like I saw some posts on like Facebook. People had like put up the picture of the magazine taken in a shop in Nagasaki and saying, "I'm sick of seeing this foreigner around" and stuff. It was a bit sort of odd, but whatever. Funny enough, one of the guys who posted that sort of post, we've since got in a band together, and we're great chums, or friendly enough. So I think it's just this sort of, if a foreigner seems to be getting too big for his boots or her boots, there's a saying in Japanese, Japan, you know, it's the nail that sticks up that gets hammered down. Everything sort of has to conform, but I'm probably going a bit over the top there. But anyway, for a while, I did notice that there was a bit of a kickback against my perceived success, like I was earning, you know, millions of yen for it, which I wasn't. It just helped to pay the rent on my flat and feed my 2 kids, you know. So anyone's got a problem with that, screw you. I did a few more shoots after that. What kind of ended it, which was my choice, I just stopped doing it, was the money never changed, as I say. And I got that bit of nonsense, which I thought, well, who needs that? But they said, and I started to think actually someone was making some money out of this, and it wasn't me. It was my face up front, and it wasn't me. Oh, about that magazine, I should say this. They were going to release, well, they did release a second issue of the magazine where I had my face painted gold. And they said, do you have any ideas for it? We'd like to use you again. I said, well, I just, as a laugh, I said, why not paint my face silver? And they went, oh yeah, what a great idea. And then it wasn't I don't know why it wasn't a good idea anymore. Probably because the foreigner thought of it, but cynic. But they used a young woman instead. It was fine. They put whiskers, a foreign woman, not Japanese. They put whiskers on her and little like cat's ears, and it caused a massive hoo-ha because the young model that was used, a very attractive young lady called Kate, African American, black, and it caused an absolute hoo-ha amongst some African Americans at Nagasaki University. They said, quote, it was animalizing black people. I didn't really know Kate all that well, but from what I could work out, she wasn't fussed herself at all. She was like, cool, what a great experience. I earned some money. And she returned to the States shortly after anyway. But there was a big hoo-ha here. And they actually recalled the magazines, whatever the correct term is, and they pulped them. And that was the end of Flag, the name of the magazine. I think the first one sold quite well, but I think they lost a lot of money the second time because of the storm about Kate being with the cat's ears and the whiskers. So that was the end of that one. That was in the magazine, getting the end of my spectacular modelling career, which was So I started to think, well, someone's making money out of this. It's not me. And like the glasses one, they still use the same photos from 10 years ago in like magazines and stuff. So it's not like we get any royalties from being refeatured. But you know, them's the breaks. So they said, can you go to Tokyo to advertise shirts? I don't know why I need to go to Tokyo to do it, but I said, well, maybe. But what's the money going to be like? And it was just, haha, well, it won't be so good, but, you know, fun experience for you. I was like, you know what? I'm 40 now. I'm good with fun experiences. You know, I've got a wife and kids. So, and they said, well, come to a meeting anyway. I went to a meeting, and there I met a load of professional models. Now these are the ones, well, they say they do it full time. Normally if you dig a little bit, turns out they're actually teaching English or whatever here. But I've never felt kind of out. They were nice enough people, if just a bit, I don't want to be a judge, but if I'm being honest, I just found them really superficial. And it was, a couple of them were like that Zoolander, you know, I am a model. And they were really young, and I just thought, I just don't belong here. I don't want to be here. I don't base any sense of achievement out of having been a model. It's like, you know, being born with a certain bone structure or whatever isn't an achievement. It's just a random chance of whatever. So that was it. I said, no, I'm done with it. They've offered me a couple more gigs since. I've turned them down. My kids are mixed, halves as they call them here, Hafu to give the pronunciation, half Japanese, half English. They've offered half Western. They've offered them modelling gigs, but my kids they don't really like standing out. So that's kind of the end of that one. But that's just a quick my experience of having been a model in Japan. Okay, cheers. Peace out.